Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today's Monday, February 3rd. Happy Monday. Before we begin, please remember to subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things Thailand. Now, today, we'll be talking about the Thai hostages that have recently been freed by Hamas. A man being arrested for sexual crimes 18 years after the fact. And a little later, Indonesia's recent experiments with a 4-day work week. But first, we are off to Phuket. Now in Phuket, a tourist bus has plunged into a ravine, injuring 9. So, a tourist bus in Phuket plunged about 20 meters into a ravine off Karon Hill on February 1st, injuring 9 people, 5 men and 4 women from China, Germany, Russia, and Thailand. Emergency teams rushed to Patong Hospital for treatment. According to preliminary dashcam evidence, the driver, identified as 49-year-old Mr. Wira, lost control at high speed, veered off the road, destroyed the crash barrier, and tumbled into the ravine. Authorities continue to investigate the exact cause of the accident. Scary stuff. Tourists, and of course this is something we talk about all the time. Buses behaving erratically, sometimes it's without respecting the scope of the law. And in this case, certainly ruining a lot of days. Fortunately, everybody is relatively unscathed, rushed to the hospital very quickly. No deaths to report, so that's good news. But be careful, I guess. And if you see your bus driver behaving erratically, speak up. Unclear whether it was really his fault, so we need to wait for the investigation to reveal exactly what happened. But in this case, I think it does appear that the driver may have been at fault. All right, on to our next story. Look, there's been a lot of election intimidation happening all over the world, and apparently here in Thailand as well. Explosives were found near an election unit in Chumphon. 3 grenades and nearly 100 machine gun rounds were discovered just 50 meters from an election unit in Chumphon province on February 1st. A worker accidentally kicked a suspicious bag while cutting palms, revealing the explosives. Authorities secured the area and called in the EOD unit, which found 3 South Korean-made practice grenades and 82 rusted machine gun rounds. The explosives were safely detonated at the site. Police are investigating their origin, as the area has previously hosted Cobra Gold military exercises. Well, that's horrifying. Like this guy just doing your gardening, and all of a sudden, oh, what's this bag? Give it a little kick. Oh, it's explosives. Yeah, I'm not sure if this was intended for anything more nefarious, or if these were just left over from military exercises that were held there previously. Either way, not great news to have leftover grenades just lying around. But fortunately, the EOD teams were able to come in and explode it on site. Again, no injuries, no harm. But pretty terrifying to think that these things could just be laying around for anybody to find. This was a happy ending, but hopefully we won't hear more of this in the future. All right, now moving on. This is the big story that happened over the weekend. We're a little late to it, but I did need to catch you up on it in the end. Anyways, as Thai hostages have been freed by Hamas, and they are now set for repatriation. 5 Thai hostages recently freed by Hamas after 15 months in captivity are set for repatriation from Israel. Foreign Affairs Minister Mattis and Chief Defense Forces General Songwit arrived in Tel Aviv on February 1st to oversee their return. The released hostages are undergoing medical evaluations at Al Shamir Medical Center, with assessments expected to take 8 to 10 days. Thailand is coordinating with Israel on compensation and repatriation efforts. Maris expressed gratitude to Israel, Qatar, Egypt, Iran, and Turkey for their roles in securing the hostages' release. Yeah, talk about being caught in the crossfire. These poor Thai hostages are, after 15 months of imprisonment, undergoing God knows what kind of treatment, they have been finally released and are set to return home to Thailand. Look, obviously, the carrot dangled for the amount of money that you get paid to work in these high-risk situations is enough to convince many people to come out there and do it. However, these poor souls paid not the ultimate price, but very near it, just by virtue of being there and in the wrong place at the wrong time. Obviously, Thailand, not much of a, an opinionated voice when it comes to the Israel-Hamas conflict. So pretty unfortunate that these guys were caught in the crossfire. Fortunately, heading home. All right, moving on. We got a creepy story, a couple of creepy ones coming up. A civil servant has been arrested for filming police in a restroom. Is nothing sacred? That's right, a civil servant from Uluwatu was caught secretly filming two police officers in a restroom at a petrol station in Phnom Penh on February 1st. Upon inspection, police found numerous restroom videos on his phone, along with a list of online group members and evidence in his vehicle. Identified as Chumphon Administration Organization Director, he had been selling the footage on X, Line, and Telegram for 250 baht per member. What? Ugh. He confessed to doing this for over a year and now faces charges related to obscene content distribution. Good God. Look, obviously, bathrooms, you're in a private situation. Who knows how many people he's been doing this to? But unfortunately for him, the people involved this time were actual police. They were like, hey, what are you doing, like, looking at me in the stall? Able to arrest him, able to collect tons of evidence. And dude, not even make much money off of it. 250 baht per video to members in a group. Oh, God, hopefully this leads to a greater sting, a crackdown on the people that were engaging in purchasing this smut. But yeah, in any case, gross. Moving on, next story. Not our only creepy one of the day. Justice apparently has no statute of limitations here in Thailand, as a man has been arrested after 18 years for a sexual crime involving a minor. A 37-year-old man known as Apichat was arrested in Lopburi after evading authorities for 18 years. In 2006, he invited a 17-year-old girl B on a trip to Bangsan Beach, later convincing her to continue drinking at his home, where he was accused of inappropriate conduct. A warrant was issued for his arrest, but he fled the area. On February 2nd, police finally tracked him down. Apichat has since confessed and is now in police custody for legal proceedings. Whoa. Okay, Jesus, so he would have been 19 at the time. This girl was 17. Obviously, no excuse for liquoring up your target and then doing some nasty stuff with her, especially when she's underage, not of the legal drinking age, nor was he. Interesting to see that the police didn't let this go cold, right? Like, he fled the scene, he evaded arrest for 18 years. Eventually, they caught up with him, and he has since confessed to the crimes. Strange, though. I certainly wouldn't have expected something like this. I'm happy for the victim. I'm glad that she's able to get her justice finally. But just wild to me that the police were able to stay on top of this and eventually track him down. What punishment he will face is yet to be determined. The legal proceedings are underway. But yeah, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, are you surprised that the police were able to catch up with him? And finally, yeah, what punishments should be done for a crime performed 18 years before? Certainly something, but unclear to me. Finally, in Thailand, little political news. A Thai senator's death penalty proposal has sparked debate. Capital punishment still an issue here in Thailand. A Thai senator, Amat Ayuken, has sparked controversy by proposing the death penalty for drug offenders, with executions televised to deter crime. Whew, that's pretty dystopian. Citing Singapore as a model, he argued that harsher laws would reduce drug-related offenses. While 10 senators supported his stance, others, including Senator Ankana, condemned it as a violation of human rights. Critics argued that enforcing existing laws and targeting major drug networks would be more effective. Despite opposition, some members of the public backed the idea, with calls to extend severe penalties to other serious crimes. Whoa, that's a pretty spicy proposal. Televised executions. That seems like something out of a, horrible 1984 dystopian sci-fi movie. But yeah, it's a real thing. It does happen in parts of the world. And now hearing that Thailand it might be considering this. Look, Thailand doesn't usually carry out executions very often anyways. Of course, they do still have capital punishment, but I think it's like, last one, there was one recently. The last one before that was 5-6 years before. Look, murder is a thing in Thailand, but certainly the death penalty is not so often used here. The fact that he's arguing to do it for, drug crimes, whether they are violent or non-violent, remains to be seen. But also doing it in public just feels like kind of icky to me. I don't know, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. Capital punishment for drug crimes, yay or nay? And then, publicly televising them. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? For me, honestly, I think that the financial incentives of committing these crimes is probably enough to get people who are desperate enough to enter this world, regardless of what the punishments might be, because, if they're doing it, they don't expect to get caught at all. So I'm not sure how much of a deterrent it actually can be, but let me know your thoughts. All right. Moving on, that'll do it for our Thaiger section of the news. We are now into the ASEAN section, where I have some interesting news coming out of Indonesia. Indonesia has adopted a voluntary 4-day work week. Sounds good to me. Indonesia's Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises has officially implemented a voluntary 4-day work week after a successful pilot. Employees who meet the 40-hour weekly requirement in 4 days can take an extra day off, up to twice a month with approval. The initiative aims to improve work-life balance and reduce stress, particularly among younger workers. While still under evaluation, it may expand to state-owned firms. The concept is gaining traction globally, with Belgium, Japan, and the UK adopting similar policies to enhance productivity and employee well-being. Well, what do you think? I don't know. So it's a 4-day work week, but you still got to do 40 hours in the week. So is that an improvement? First of all, let me know your thoughts on that. And only twice a month you're getting it. Seems like they're really, dipping their toes in the water before fully jumping into the concept. But it is gaining traction around the world. So let me know your thoughts. What is your preferred schedule for a work week? I think I'd be down. This sounds good to me. But let me know in the comments. Would you be up for that schedule? All right. Moving on to Cambodia. More good news. Phnom Penh has launched a walk street along the Riverside. Phnom Penh's new Walk Street initiative had a successful trial opening along the Riverside, attracting locals, tourists, and dignitaries. Governor Khuong Sreng led officials on a walk from Chak Tomuk Conference Hall past the Royal Palace to Wat Phnom. The trial will continue every Saturday and Sunday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. along Sisowath Avenue, offering a pedestrian-friendly experience in the heart of the city. Isn't that nice? A little bit different than the walking street that we're used to in Pattaya, which I'll be visiting this weekend. But it's good to see that these initiatives, right, the pilots, right, getting them off the ground first. But, tourism is the lifeblood of many parts of Southeast Asia, and having attractions like this really brings people out, not just for the international tourists, but for the locals as well. Something nice to do. So if you're in Phnom Penh on Saturdays or Sundays, go and check it out. All right. Moving on, I think that's it for my happy news of the day. I did this out of order. Like I said, we're being rushed. But we are... how can he slap? We'll just say. A man in Kota Warisan was arrested after slapping his wife in public for returning late from buying chicken rice at a shopping mall. It's nothing sacred. A viral 29-second video captured the incident, prompting police action. The suspect later took his wife and child to Nilai Nagari Semblian before abandoning them and fleeing. He was later found sleeping in his car and arrested on February 1st. The court has approved a 3-day remand for further investigation. Jesus! Come on, dude. Whatever. She's a little bit late with your food. First of all, she's doing you a favor, picking up your food, Jesus Christ, and then to go ahead and publicly violate her like that. Not only is it, of course, violence against women, it's also degrading to do it in public. And then he kidnapped them, it seemed, something like that, allegedly, just ran away with them, finally arrested. This has been going viral for all the wrong reasons, and just goes to show just how hard it is to be a woman in this world, particularly in places that are still developing their opinions and liberties for the finer half of the species, I'll say. All right, moving on. Our last story of the day. It is good news. We got a police raid. 100 have been arrested in the Philippines in an online scam raid. Philippine authorities arrested around 100 people in Manila's Makati district during a raid on an online scam operation posing as a lending agency. The suspects targeted victims via social media, offering high-interest collateral-free loans before harassing those who couldn't repay. Victims faced threats, public humiliation, and even reports of suicides due to the harassment. The raided company, We Will Tech Corp., allegedly used personal data and family photos for blackmail. Authorities suspect links to banned online gaming operations and are investigating the owners' nationalities. Well, that was quite an operation. Jesus Christ, 100 people over there, and of course using disgusting illicit tactics, blackmailing people, leading people to taking their own lives. Very glad that this has been raided and shut down. And it just goes to show you again, guys, don't be giving your personal information, right, like to sketchy new companies. It's amazing to me that people are still falling for these scams, and that's why we have to tell these stories. And unfortunately, there's still so much money to be made that people are incentivized to get out there and try and take advantage of people in the worst possible way. But yeah, anyways, at least that's one for the authorities, 0 for the criminal entities. Again, we are still waiting to see if these people are actually Filipino or are they being run by other nationalities. Seems to be the case. All right, let me wrap up before diving into the comments. Guys, please, thank you all for watching GMT today. Please go to thetiger.com throughout the day to see more updates from Thailand, and also go to ASEANnow.com to continue the conversation where you can join Thailand's largest expat forum. Also, remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay up to date on all things Thailand. Also, you can subscribe to us on TikTok, Instagram, your favorite social media choice. You'll see some extra content that you wouldn't see here on the YouTube channel. Some funny videos and the like. And finally, my last plug, if anybody is in Pattaya this Friday, February 7th, we will be doing our first big comedy show on the 7th. It'll be 7:30 doors, 8 p.m. show. Tickets are available on Megatix right now. You can search it up. Look up Pattaya Night Live. That is on Megatix. You should be able to still buy tickets throughout the week. We're about, I think we have like 40 to 50 tickets sold already. So we're expecting a pretty good show with myself, Philip Koo, and Charles the French. Come and join us if you will, if you're in Pattaya.